Golf 4, Italy, Whiskey, Oscar, G4IWO, testing audio. M0AUG, G4IWO. Good evening, Jeff. Nice to see you. And I'm not sure how many people we're going to have on tonight, over.
Likewise, I just had an email from Andrew. He's not joining us this evening. And Adrian seems to have his wife cooking a meal on Thursday evening, so I don't know who will be joining us. Back to you.
M0AUG from G4IWO. Yeah, I mean, we had quite a few pops in last week, Jeff, so who knows? But I've already set the live stream up with no audio on it on YouTube just to make it easier, with a strap across the bottom that says Denby Dale Amateur Radio Club Digital Net starts at 7:30 p.m. So hopefully, if anyone's pops up on their YouTube channel, they'll come back at 7:30. What the weather's been like over your way, Jeff? It's been pretty miserable again today, but a little bit of rain, but nothing like as much as we've had over the last few days. M0AUG, G4IWO.
G4IWO0AUG. Yeah, it's just been quite windy over here, and no rain or anything, but just been windy and not really very, very warm indeed. But that's how it is. At least it's fine. And I'm assuming it's been the same over there.
M0AUG
G4IWO, M0AUG.
from G4IWO. Incidentally, I haven't had any problems since we had those difficulties a few days ago on the net with my timeouts. So I'm hoping that was just a glitch on the internet connection somewhere between the house here and everywhere else it goes across the internet, Jeff. So fingers crossed for tonight. M0AUG, G4IWO.
G4IWO0AUG. Yeah, I'll just have to see how we go with it, Nick. And I'm obviously monitoring the dashboard, and there's nobody else connected at the moment apart from Paul. And I think he just prefers to listen. But I'll give him a chance to come in if he wants to, but it's optional. Back to you, Nick. G4IWO0AUG.
Yeah, G4IWO returning. Yeah, no problem at all, Jeff. We were just setting up a bit earlier with Paul, M0AIA, what equipment we're going to take up Black Hill on June the 8th. So we don't duplicate carting a lot of radio equipment up if we're, basically it would be good to have at least one VHF station and one HF station, but there's so much room up there. We could have quite a few stations on the go at the same time. So just, again, fingers crossed for the weather, Jeff. Right, I'm going to go back to listen, but I'll pass it back to you and then I'm going to go to listen. M0AUG, G4IWO.
G4IWO, M0AUG today. Yeah, fine on that, Nick. Obviously, we're looking at the weather because of the field event at Bishop's Park for the Oldham Club on Saturday night. I intend to be going down there and we'll look at there. But conditions haven't been too brilliant. So I'll go back to standby until the next start. Back to you, Nick. G4IWO, M0AUG.
Yeah, no problem, Jeff. See you in a bit.
CON8NT.
CQ, this is Mike Zero Alpha Uniform Golf, calling all members and friends of the Denby Dale Radio Society for the Thursday evening digital net. At the moment, there's only, apart from Paul in the background, there are only 4 of us on this evening, so we'll see how we go. I'll just give Paul a call in case he wants to join us. M0TVB in the group, M0AUG. Good evening, Paul. Nothing goes from Paul. I noticed that the Peter's connected, so if anybody's listening and wants to join in from GB7HX, please come through now. M0AUG in the group. Nothing goes via GB7HX. I'll see you then, Nick. G4IW in the group, M0AUG. Good evening again.
0AUG in the group from G4IWO. Good evening, everyone on the net, and good evening to our viewers on the live stream, and of course also to those that watch the live stream later during the week. I hope you enjoy our chat. No, we've got a lot of apologies this evening. Lots of activities this week. It's a holiday week, May Bank holiday week, and people doing all kinds of things this week. HF has been rather poor this week, I must say. We are on the repeat end of the massive sunspots from a couple of weeks ago that wiped out HF for several days. And that sunspot is now back in view of Earth with some very, very large discharges from it. None as big as the one from a fortnight ago, but still some pretty heavy duty ones, which have rather brought propagation down, sadly, on HF. But even so, there are still surprises to be found. I've continued playing with aerials at home, but more of that on my next over. So back to you, Jeff. M0AUG in the group, G4IWO.
G4IWO in the group, M0AU. Yes, fine on that, Nick. And I noticed on the WhatsApp group, one of your messages was advocating people to call out CQ. Absolutely right. If you don't call out CQ, you don't know who you're missing there. So thank you for that so far. So we'll go down south now, and we'll go over to Dave in Taunton. Andrew has already sent his apologies for this evening, Dave, but over to you. G6 is the listener in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group, G6LSM. Good evening, everyone on the net, and as Nick said, everyone who's monitoring on other means. I was trying to scan through the bands the other day, and I was on 15, and I heard a guy from Orkney. he was coming through loud and clear. I've never heard a British person with a British call sign or a band as low as 15. Normally they're up 14. B, I was really surprised he came through as that clear as he did, because there was nothing else coming through. So, yeah, as Nick said, there are some surprises. Although no surprises that there was an Italian coming through this afternoon. He was coming through fairly clearly, but other than that, from what I could hear, the bands are dead. Still, I'm in Bristol tomorrow, taking my radios up there. The 7100 is now fixed permanently. No, sorry, not permanently in the car, but it is fixed into the car as a fixture. And I'm taking the 705 as well. Going to have a try at reaching Andrew up at North Hill. M0 AUG in the group G6 ZSN.
G6 ZSN, the group M0 AUG saying, fine with that there, and tomorrow goes well. And yeah, it's good to have you with us again this evening. And I hope you get through to Andrew tomorrow when you're out on your travels there. Yeah, the conditions have been very variable, I think, on the HF side, but as Nick pointed out on the WhatsApp group, if you're anything, then don't just sit there, try putting out a CQ call, and really, genuinely, you won't be surprised on who you get. I've had that many times over the years. I don't do CW, but even on ordinary voice SSP, that does work. Over to you, Jeff, asking November 8, November Tango. Thank you very much for running the net last week, Jeff. Big Zero Alpha Uniform Golf.
Mike Zero Alpha Uniform Golf, the group for 8 November Tango. That's all. The pleasure was all mine, Jeff. No problem at all. Really enjoyed that. And a very good evening to everyone, and a very good evening to everyone on YouTube. We had some quite bad weather during the last week. I must say, torrential rain, wind, thunder and lightning, and things like that. That's the reason why I put my VHF antenna down. My my 2000 from Diamond. So I haven't been much on 6 meters or 4 meters. But I have been on my hamsticks, so I have been on 15 and 20 and so on. And one observation that I made, and it's a little bit in line with what Dave is saying, I worked quite a lot of UK stations, English stations, from Yorkshire and Lancashire and so on 20, 17 and 15 meter band. So there was some kind of short skip propagation, which happens perhaps quite often in the summertime. So that was quite strange, which was a good opportunity to get the UK in the lock on certain bands, because I didn't have that on certain bands or on certain modes. So that was quite a strange observation. Okido, and also a very good evening to our friends in Germany, because I read in the newspaper that there was a tornado in Germany yesterday, I think, and some more severe weather expecting there in Germany, but especially in the south of Germany. So probably Mike and Adriano will put some more light on that. Okido, Mike Zero AUG, the group of 8 November Tango.
I think I'm saying that the group M0 AUG saying, yeah, thanks for that, Jeff, and been some very unusual weather conditions around, and glad you've been able to make some contacts within the UK. Personally, with all the things that have been going on in the last week, I've not been able to do much radio at all, let alone try and do it. It's been difficult enough sometimes to get time to switch it on, but there we are. We're progressing forward on that, as I've explained in the offline emails to both you and Mike and Adriana. Over to you anyway, Jerry, in Northern Germany. I'm glad you can join us again this evening. BJW with DL8 BDT, M0AUG in the group. Over to you, Mike, please.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey, very good evening to all. And yeah, sorry about our starting later with the meeting here. We were just testing out something and got carried away. But yeah, thank you, Jeff, for your thoughts about the tornadoes and so on. Actually, we here in the northwestern part of the country are quite lucky until now, keeping my fingers crossed that this will stay so. But in other parts of the country, especially in Bavaria and near the Lake of Constance, there have been very difficult situations, emergencies, and so on because of the weather. And yeah, we very much hope that the damages will not amount to more than as it is already known. So it's not very good down there, but I think everything is in hand, thank God. But yeah, WX has been very problematic the last 10 days, I'd say, and there's no end to be seen. Here at our part of the country, we've got one thunderstorm warning after another, and so we are always putting the antennas outside up, and somehow later taking them down again, and up and down and up and down, and now they are down again at this moment. So last weekend there was the CW contest, and I wrote in the WhatsApp group, as you've probably seen, that there was also a big and severe thunderstorm warning, so the antennas were down, and we only had the attic antenna, the inside antenna, to work with, the long wire 9 meters long and the inverted V dipole for 10 to 40 meters inside the roof, or below the roof, below the tiles. And yeah, I was using 50 watts with the CW there, and had some very amazing contacts there with Brazil, Japan, USA, Canada, China, and even, that took me by surprise, Australia and New Zealand. Only one contact into each country, Australia and New Zealand, but nevertheless, that was very nice. But otherwise, as I said, always putting the antennas up and taking them down again. And for this weekend, I think we will let them stay on the ground there. So it's safer this way. Inside our river cough, the vertical antenna, which is about 6 meters long, and the end-fed half wave from the wall, the outside wall of the house to a tree in the garden, and it's a little bit tricky with the lightning going on, and so we try to be on the safe side, HI. Yeah, that's it on our part. So as I said, until now, we have been lucky. There has been no damage here or around our QDH, and I hope this stays so. Passing the microphone for this over to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Very good evening to all of you, and also to all listeners on the YouTube channel. This is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango. Yes, as Mike just said, it was a very difficult time radio-wise, especially the conditions outdoors did not allow many experiences outside. But we are looking forward to better times. And yes, on my side, my G90 is still in repairing process, so we try to fill out some projects here, and yes, waiting for better times. So I have the microphone back to M0AUG for the group.
TL8 PD3 with DL1 PJW in the group. M0AUG returning. Just thanks for that, Michael. The conditions certainly haven't been everything that one would expect. But once again, the links are on the WhatsApp channel for the CQ call out to see what you can get. And that's good as well. And good evening to everybody who's actually listening to us on the YouTube channel. I think Bob's out there with one of them as well. So I don't know anybody else. And I think Laura might be listening on there, just looking at a quick glance across there. So I'll leave Nick to fill that in on a later stage. Just out of interest there, Mike and Adriana and Jeff, the Oldham Club are having a field day up on one of the hilltops, on the top side of Oldham on Saturday. Whether the conditions will allow conditions to go any further, I don't know. But obviously, I'll be going down there to support the club. And if I find out any conditions are okay and what frequencies they're doing, then I'll post it up on the Denby Dale WhatsApp group as well. Okay, back over to Paul in case you're wanting to come in there, Paul. Forgot your call now. G0TVB. Are you joining us this evening, Paul? M0AUG in the group. Nothing goes from Paul. Is there anybody waiting to join us through the GB7H extra beta? Come in now, please, M0AUG. Nothing else, so back over to you, Nick. G4IWO in the group, M0AUG.
Yes, M0AUG in the group from G4IWO. And good evening to Jeff and also to Mike and Adriana. Nice to see you and Dave as well, of course. Just a couple of things to talk about really tonight. One is we've got good evening from Bob, N4XAT on the YouTube channel, and also from Laura, Mike 7 Bravo Foxtrot Lima. So good evening to both of you. Bob reminds us that 1st and 2nd of June, there are a number of stations active, museum stations in ships active over that weekend from 0 hours UTC on the 1st of June to 2059 on the 2nd of June. There's Labo Uniform 995 in Germany, call sign Delta Lima 0 Delta Mike Bravo. And there's also NJ2 Bravo Bravo, which will be on air from the dry dock at the old Philadelphia Navy Yard, also on the 1st to 2nd of June, from 1200 Zulu to 2200 Zulu. So those looking out for contacts with the museum ships in the water, there are two that will be operating this weekend coming. And to go back to one of the events coming up in the club, that's on June the 8th, so not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, we're taking a group of us are going up Black Hill, just outside Holmfirth, to the highest peak in West Yorkshire and the Southern Pennines, just under 2,000 feet high, about 600 meters. And hopefully we'll be operating from the summit from round about 11:15 onwards that morning, depending on what the climbing conditions are like. We're going to be live on HF and also live on 2 meters, hopefully on a single sideband and CW, as well as FM on 2 meters. And we'll do some Zoom and some YouTube from the summit as well. So that should be good fun, and really looking forward to that operation. In addition to that, I just agree with the comments that Jeff was making, and thanks for repeating the comment I made on the WhatsApp group, Jeff. You know, the band might seem deaf. I came on the other morning at 5 o'clock in the morning UTC, so 6 o'clock here in the UK, just before 6 on 40 meters, and I could hear virtually no stations at all on the CW end of the band. And so I just put out a CQ call, and I was very, very surprised that the single station to call me and the first call I made was from Tango, India, from Costa Rica. So that's a pretty good bit of DX. We struggled a bit with the noise on the band and the low signal levels, but we completed the QSO, got them in the log, which was good fun. And I think that just proved to me that, you know, even if it sounds dead, put out a CQ call and you never know who's going to come back. So back to you, Jeff. M0, are you in the group G4I?
I've had over the years, because I've been in sort of these limited antenna restrictions for a long, long time. What with using the caravan there in North Wales for many years, and then where we are now. And it does work, and you just got to give it a try. So don't be frightened of pressing the BTT and getting on with it. So thanks for confirming that, Nick. And the Hill one, as I mentioned previously, I've been up Kinder Scout, which I think is slightly higher many, many times over the years, because the Oldham Club used to go up there and do the PW contest. I think that's about 2,080 feet above sea level. Not too far from Black Hill, but a hell of a climb when you're carrying all the equipment you need to use a low power QRP contest for practical wireless there. All good fun though. Young days and nice memories. Over to you there, Dave. G6 in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group, G6LSN. I must admit, most of the time I'm scanning, I'm doing something else. It's just idle scanning with my hand. If I'm talking on the phone, I might scan at the same time, which was when I heard the gentleman from the Orkney Isles, when he came up and said he was from the Orkney Isles. I was rather surprised, to put it mildly. But yeah, I take your point about calling out CQ. I must admit, it's not something I do very often. In fact, I can't remember the last time I did it, but yeah, I take the hint that if I'm up on the Downs tomorrow and it's dead, to put out a couple of calls. Taking all my Ampro antennas, I can't really put up my big mast because I'll be pumped from the road right beside a public footpath. So I won't have room to run over the sand on the base plate to shove the mast up. It'll be rather in the way of traffic, and I don't think the police or my fellow motorists would be very happy. Ideal spot to do it, but not going to happen, I'm afraid. So it's got to be Ampros on the roof of the car and hope for the best. I don't know if you remember the G-Tech PMR 171 I had, which went back to China. It arrived back at my house the other day, so I got another radio to sell. It's in good condition, hasn't been damaged. The packaging is still excellent, so it must have just sat in Chinese customs until such times as they got fed up with it and shipped it back to me. Luckily, I didn't have to pay customs charges again. I would have been rather miffed if I had had to. It probably would have gone back to China again. But I believe that Denby Dale have got for sale site. I was wondering if someone on the Nova can give me the address. I'm going to sell my 6100. I don't use it very often, and I thought I'd take the 705 rather than that out with me mobile. and use the money elsewhere. Mike Zero, Alpha Uniform Golf, Golf 6 Sierra November.
G6 Tower Group M0AG returning. Command Zero equation first. If you go onto the Denby Dale Radio Society website, you'll see a tab there that says for sale and wanted. If you go on that one, I'll fill in the bits and pieces and follow the instructions, and it'll get posted on there. I know that Laura's already had one successful sale from that, Jeff, and I hope that helps us all. I wonder if the person who had all the order was in fact Jeff on the island of Hawaii, G8, Oscar Fox, Quebec there, so you can come back on the next over there, Jeff. Over to you there, Jeff, in Belgium. Oscar November, November Tango in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG, Group of 8 November Tango. Actually, when you mentioned that call sign from that station in Orkney, Jeff, I remember I worked at a couple of weeks ago on 40 meters. He was a massive signal. I think he has something like a rotatable 40-meter dipole or something. He was very, very strong. So it was easy for me to work him. So, but that was a couple of weeks ago on 40 meters. Okay, first of all, a very good evening, Bob, on YouTube, and also a very good evening to Laura in Scotland there, and very nice to catch up there. And Bob, I will look out for the battleship there, for the battleship New Jersey, and also for the other ships. Maybe they are able to repair the Ridley station. I would love to work them, but no problem, no hassle. We have time to do that, so that's no problem. By the way, it's also this weekend the field day weekend, so on HF there will be quite some activity, and also on the VHF and up there will be quite some activity. I'm not sure if the propagation this weekend on VHF will be okay, but nevertheless, I will also try to take a look to that. And I must say, with your CW contest, congratulations on that. I took part in it, but only in the afternoon on Saturday and in the afternoon on Sunday. And on the Sunday, I have to close my station because there was a thunderstorm just above us here. So I worked mostly Europe and some Americans, some Canadians, and 2 or 3 Brazilians, I think, and someone from Africa, from Cape Verde Island, I think, but not 100% sure. So that, but you have probably been QRE more in the morning and also heard those VK and ZOs. I didn't hear them at all because I was only on Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon partly. And okay, Adriana, about your G90, yeah, okay, keep our fingers crossed. Keep our fingers crossed and hope that that will be okay. And okay, Dominic, I always keep an eye on the 8th of June, of course, to see if I can work any one of you there or in Wales. Really looking forward to that. I was thinking, I think this was a question from Nick a time ago about a logging program for POTA for parks on the air on an Android phone or tablet, and I have thinking about that. Actually, yesterday I was tuning an antenna on my balcony with the expert, and you can connect that to your smartphone or to your tablet. And I experienced that the screen on the tablet or on the smartphone was hardly readable because there was some sunshine. So maybe Nick and a logbook on an Android phone or tablet is maybe not such a good idea if you have the sunshine or even during daylight. So maybe pencil and paper will be better, or should be handy just in case it doesn't work. Okay, back to you, Jeff. Mike 0 AUG, the group 08 November Tango.
M0AUG, the group Back from Oscar November 8 November Tango. So thanks for all that, Jeff. And quite a lot going on, really. We just got to see if we can work with these difficult conditions that keep popping up every now and again. But like I said before, and Nick said, call CQ if you can't hear anything. You'll be surprised what comes back, as you know very well, Jeff. And you obviously worked some fantastic stations, over the years through doing that. Now back to you, Mike and Algena. DL1 BJW with the IBAT M0AUG, and thanks for your posting on the WhatsApp group, both of you.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Juliet Whiskey, yeah. First of all, best greetings to Bob and to Laura there on the YouTube channel. And radio-wise, since the weekend has been a very curious week, I was listening quite a lot on 6 meters and 4 meters, and I have to do some things on the antennas for listening into that. So I mainly rest with that and neglect the other bands then at this time. So I've been mainly on 6 meters and 4 meters, or 4 meters is a little bit high to speak of. Actually, I got an FDA contact on 4 meter to northwestern Scotland. That was very surprising for me. And otherwise, were only contacts on 6 meter in CW to northern Sweden. This was also very nice. And FT8, mainly the whole of Europe, you could say that. I was very surprised when I watched two South African stations, two Zulu Sierra stations pop up on 6 meters yesterday, but nothing doing with our antennas. I couldn't reach them. Actually, we are still trying to do something for 6 meters here with the antenna and experimenting with it. And perhaps finally we will get to a solution to work 6 meters more effectively. We've bought some things to put together there, and we will keep you posted, actually. Yeah. Otherwise, FT8 and FT4 was nothing very spectacular, but sometimes in between, especially on 15 meters, I've been surprised to see some nice stations pop up there. From California, for example, had their FT8 contact into Los Angeles, and another FT8, I think, contact, into Egypt, Sierra Uniform 1 Sierra Kilo in Cairo. And I was very glad about that, because I've tried for months and months to reach this station. It's the only one from Egypt I know, and or I see. And finally, I got through, and he gave me the confirmation there on FT8. That was very nice, even if it is not very far from our QTH here, so to speak, but it's relatively rare, in my opinion, anyway. And last thing, perhaps some of you know that the very popular handheld radio from Baofeng, Uniform Victor Stroke 5 Romeo, which is very widespread and very popular. I've got one also. Have been banned from using here in Germany and other parts of the European Union. And because of the possibility to pop into other bands with it, where there should be no signal HI. And so I finally gave in and put it in the rubbish bin, so to speak, in a special one, of course, because you are even not allowed to gift it to someone or to sell it to someone. So I put it out of action with a bleeding heart, but it had to be done, and I've been ordering another handheld radio for FM use on VHF and UHF from retailer, and it should be arrived on next Monday, I think. I decided on rig from Midland, which is also Albrecht or Allen, as you all know, I'm sure, and we'll try that out. But it's from the descriptions on the internet, it makes a very good impression, and so I'm hoping for that. HI. So passing the microphone to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group. Yes, also from my side, just greetings to Laura and to Bob who are listening on YouTube. And yes, I can't report many things radio-wise, but yes, I'm fiddling out a little bit about possible building project of a delta loop for 6 meter. It's a little bit problematic here in Germany because we are only allowed to use horizontal polarized antennas for 6 meter, and we saw a video from a guy called Jonathan from the UK, who had a suggestion about delta loop for 6 meter, which is horizontal polarized, and you have to feed it on the bottom angle there, and then you need a 2-to-1 balance, or about 90 or 99 centimeters of coax cable with 75 ohms before you feed it into the RG58. This seems to be a quite nice project, but yes, we thought that for a garden it's also a little bit difficult to put it up there, but never give up. So I'm trying to find a solution. Yes, and oh, Nick, I have a question. The 8th of June, when you are on the field day, do you have also a time where the group will be QRV then? Would be interesting. So this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango for the group, handing the microphone back to M0 AG.
TLABET with the L1BJW. I'm sorry, I just had to break off to do something domestically while Shore was going on. So I did catch part of it, but not all, so I won't be able to comment on that. I noticed you've got somebody else who's just checking in with us, and that's M0TMR from Bradford. Good evening, Mark. You want to join the Denby Dale amateur radio site this evening? M0AG. M0TMR in the group, M0AG. Please come in and join us, Mark. Over to you. Mark in the studio, I'll bring him in later on, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay, we'll see you there, Nick, G4IW in the group, M0AG.
M0 AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, some interesting points there made by people. Just going to them one by one. To Adriana first. On June the 8th, we'll be leaving from the main road near to Holmfirth at about 09:30 British Summer Time, so 08:30 UTC. And it's about an hour and a half, I would say, to get to the summit, traveling at the speed of the slowest person on the walk. So I would say we'll be operational around about 11:30 British Summer Time, 10:30 UTC on Saturday, June the 8th, and we'll spend a few hours up there as long as the weather holds and it's not too windy. So that's the plan, to be operational by about 10:30 UTC. Adriana, it'd be great if you could listen out for us, and I'll obviously post frequencies up on our WhatsApp group for Denby Dale Club members to find us, as well as on the POTA site and a SOTA alert as well on the SOTA alerts. To Dave, G6NSN, Jeff gave you the right information, Dave. Drop us an email either to me personally, g4iwo@btinternet.com, or post it to the club email address on the Denby Dale website, and both of them will enable us to put your adverts up onto the club for sale page, Dave. So by all means, do that. And back over to Belgium, to Jeff's point, 08NT, Jeff, you're 100% correct, of course. You know, it's if you're sitting in a car or you're sitting in a park in some shelter underneath a tree at a table or something, I'm sure it's absolutely no bother at all to use a tablet or a small laptop, for example, to do your logging on. But when you're trekking up a hill and you've got absolutely no cover whatsoever, I found it difficult on the last occasion a couple of weeks ago to read the screen of the ICOM 705. And the 705 has got a very, very good screen, and it's very readable, and you can adjust the light setting on it. But even that was difficult with the sun glare on it. So undoubtedly you'd have the same problem with a small tablet. So yeah, you're right, Jeff. There's probably no alternative but to take your little logbook with you and log them down manually, and do the digital bit afterwards when you get back home. And just to add to the fun that Mike and Adriana continue to have playing and thinking about antennas, it was Ken who got me thinking a few weeks ago about my garden, because although I've got my off-center fed dipole, 40-meter off-center fed dipole up at a very good location, and it works extremely well. What I've got at the end of my garden is about nearly 10 meters of solid wall, solid stone wall. There's the houses where I live been built into a little dip, and there's a great big rock, literally a rock face in the back garden. And Ken was saying to me, he said that, I definitely use that rock face to attach antennas to. Well, in fact, one end of my off-center fed dipole does go to it. But it got me thinking, and I thought, I'm going to try an end-fed half wave, 40-meter end-fed half wave from one end of that rock face going across to the other corner of my house. So in a slightly different orientation to the off-center fed dipole. So I've made the two balance. I've operated it, and then finished off the common mode choke as well, using a ferrite ring with RG316 to block any common mode current. And it works extremely well. In fact, it was that antenna I was using on 40 meters the other morning when called by Costa Rica. So, it gives me another string to the bow, as they say over here in England, and it gives us an opportunity really to try sometimes where I can switch between the two antennas from the shack, and I can judge how well they're getting out, looking at the reverse beacon network and also the noise level on receive. So I've been having good fun with that and been managing to fiddle with the wires in between the various bits of rain we've had here. So back to you, Jeff. M0AUG in the group G4IWO.
G4IWO in the group M0AUG today. Yes, fine on that, Nick, and a lot of good points from everybody coming out this evening. This is one of the beauties of this digital net where we can discuss things as to what each person is doing. Although I don't have much to input these days at the moment with all the things going on, but I'm quite happy to listen and take notice there, comment where appropriate. And I noticed that Mark has dropped out now, and unfortunately I no means of contacting him because he's not got an email address on his QRZ page. Oh yeah, he's back on there now. So I'll just go on to you, Mark, and see if you want to join us this evening before we go down to Taunton with Dave. So M0TMR in the group, M0AUG. Do come and join us, Mark. You're very welcome.
M0T. I'm not sure if this is working. Can someone give me a radio report, please?
Yeah, good evening to you, Mark, and you did get in there. A little bit broken on there, so I don't know what you're using, but you didn't get quite in with a clear contact there. But thanks for joining us. Do you want to try again, please? Up to you. M0TMR in the group, M0AUG.
M0TMR. I'm new to this D-Star thing. At the moment, I've just been setting up a hotspot. It did work and then it fell down. So I was trying it again and I knew you were on as a group. So I thought I would just listen in, and obviously you've seen me come up and call me in. So thanks for inviting me in, and I hope this has come through okay. M0TMR running 15 watts from a roof-mounted antenna into a hotspot.
M0TMR in the group, M0AUG telling. Yeah, that's fine on that, Mark. Well, what I would suggest to you, if you go onto my QRZ page, M0AUG, you'll find my email address. Drop me an email so that I've got an email address for you and we can keep in touch that way. And obviously we'll help you to develop your interest in D-Star. This net's on every Thursday evening, and as you can see already, we've got people from all over the country. We've got Dave who's down in Taunton, Jeff who's over in Belgium, Mike and Aljana in northern Germany, and we do have people coming in from Denmark and other parts of the UK as well. So do that, please. Go to QRZ and go to the page of M0AUG. Drop me my email address and just pop me an email with your details, and we can help you to go forward going forward. And obviously you've done well so far, you're into the net this evening, so thanks for staying with us, and we'll call you in next time round. You're at the bottom of the list at the moment. So down to Taunton now, G6 Allison in the group, Dave, M0AUG.
M0AUG in the group, G6 Allison. Sorry for having to dip off for a few minutes. I'm afraid I missed whatever was said for a couple of overs. Evening Laura and good evening Bob. Be nice to have you back again soon, whenever you can come back on, Bob, with your dulcet tones. And it was you, Jeff, I think, who said, did I know the guy's name from the Albany Isles? I'm sorry, but no, I don't. I wouldn't remember anyway, as I didn't speak to him. And my memory, unfortunately, is absolutely shocking. It's old age, etc. Although you're older than I am, I think. Your memory seems to be an opposite of mine, HI. But all I did know is that he said he was from the Orkneys. He was very English sounding, as opposed to having a Scottish tilt to his accent. So whether that helps you or not, I don't know. But, and thanks very much for getting there. Getting to the buy and sell page on Denby Dale. I'll put the radios up on there in the next couple of days, and it's nice to hear that Laura managed to make a sale. I don't particularly want to send the stuff to a retailer and make a heck of a loss, but it might end up at that if they don't go. Although they're not hurting here at my house, just got to take some photos. Just had some communication with Andrew. I'm going to have a try about 10 o'clock, and I hope Nick's prophecy of dire warnings about solar flares, we might find a nice spare second where it's actually clear for a little while, and make some contacts. Don't know, see what happens, and hopefully next Thursday I'll report that I had a brilliant time up there. Other than that, I might go for a drive and find myself anywhere. I've got a few hours up there, so I can go and play or go up to Crips Causeway if it's that dead. M0AUG in the group, G6 ZSN.
G6 ZSN in the group, M0AUG, Tony. Yes, fine, I'm not Dave, and your signal's absolutely spot on this evening. It has been for the last few weeks since you connected the 705 to the open spot, and no problems at all there. It could easily be, I mean, I did suggest the guy in Orkney on the island of Hoy, he's quite regular on the from the Orkneys, so it might not be him. There are plenty of people on there. If you go into QRZ and actually just put Orkney in there and go for a search yesterday by name, by address, or call sign or whatever, go on by address, you'll find that there are plenty of people who are actually active up there in the Orkney Islands. So there you are, well, thanks for that. Sorry Andrew couldn't join us this evening, but it's that time of year when we've each got things going on, haven't we? So it's, that's who we are. And Bob and Laura on the YouTube channel, thanks for joining us that way, and I hope you'll be back on with the show there, Bob, and Laura as well. Over to you there, John. Oscar November 8, November Tango in the group, M0AUG.
M0AUG, the group Bowen 8 November Tango. Yeah, okay. First of all, a very good evening to Mark, Mike Zero Tango Mike Romeo. Very nice to catch up with you, Mark. And I also have a 9700. I don't know if I understood that well. If you said that you were using 15 watts or so into your hotspot, I think that's far too much. I'm using 0% on my RF power. I have 0%, which is about 300 milliwatts, which is more than enough. And I think you also could maybe put the mic gain a little bit down, because you tend to have some clipping. Your modulation is very strong, or maybe don't speak that near to the microphone. I'm actually speaking about 20 centimeters from the microphone. So I hopefully that can be of any help, Mark. And I see you are from Bradford. I have been in Bradford numerous times during my professional life because we were working with a company there. And I had some very good friends and very good colleagues there. So that's really nice to know there. Okay, Nick and Mike and Adriana, about your 6 and 4 meter adventures there. Congratulations on that. I think it's really a magic band. I really like 6 and 4 meters. I haven't done 6 meters and 4 meters this week because of the thunder and lightning, but I hope next week that will be my antenna will be up again. And also the antenna, the delta loop for horizontal polarization, that's I think probably a good option. Or maybe just an ordinary dipole would work also excellent. I'm quite sure about that. Although the delta loop gives you an extra 3 dB gain, I think. And congratulations also, Mike, on working the Sugar Uniform Station in Egypt. That's wonderful. And the story about the Baufen, here in Belgium, I haven't heard anything about that. So I know that our telecommunication authorities are a little bit more, relaxed on things like that. They say, well, you can have it, but you should not transmit and not listen on other frequencies and things like that. But I think also with the Beifeng, there was also an issue with the spectrum purity, I think, and that maybe this is something they are much more, much more looking at here in Belgium. But if you have a transceiver which can receive and send just outside of the home bands, no big problem here. That's for sure. And congratulations there on your NFAX wire there, Nick. I think that's, as you say, an extra string on the that's a nice expression. A string on the guitar or on the violin, anywhere. Beautiful expression. I think that's absolutely true. And sometimes the one antenna will be better than the other, and sometimes it will be the opposite. It's always good to switch between antennas. Unfortunately, I don't have the opportunity here to do that, but I'm sure that would be a good thing to have, actually. Okay, no, back to you, Jeff. Mike 0 AUG, the group over 8 November Tango.
On 8 November Tango in the group M0AG returning. Yes, thanks for that, Jeff. I just want to actually just ask Mark a question, because he has sent me an email as I asked him to, and I just want to go back to you briefly, Mark, and ask you if it's okay for me to give Jeff, who's just been on Oscar and 8 November Tango, your email address, because Jeff has got a 9700 also. I might be able to help you with any issues that you might have. So, strictly out of order, which I'll just go back to you if I may. M0TMR, M0AUG in the group.
M0TMR returning. Hope this is better. I've turned the power down to 5% now, and I'm on a mic gain of 30%. That's the email. Yeah, of course it is. I know of that. What I have noticed is, Jeff, your signal was breaking and getting beeps across it. Is that my setup or is it yours? Anyway, that's enough from me. M0, I'll hand it back to the
M0TMR, group M0AG. That's fine enough. Offline, I'll pass your email address across to Jeff in Belgium, and he's a long time user of 9700, so I'm sure he can help you with issues there, which is what we're all about. You've probably heard us, Mark, mention the YouTube, the WhatsApp group, YouTube group. Denby Dale Amateur Radio Society have a YouTube channel as well, and this that's going out on the YouTube channel, and some of our people, like Bob in the States at the moment, is coming back to us through that. And also, there's a very, very active WhatsApp group, which you may consider joining, and a lot of information goes on there with things going on with contacts that are going on during the time. You don't have to be a member of this stage of the club, Mark, to join us. Please continue to. If you want to join the club when the new year comes up in September, that's purely optional as well. Good to have you on board anyway. So we'll move down the list and go back to Northern Germany. DL1BJW with DL8BDT in the group. M0AEG.
Delta Lima 1 Bravo Julie Whiskey. First of all, very good evening to you, Mark. And if I remember my starting into D-Star, it was 8 or 9 years ago. I had really great problems there, big problems. And it took me half an eternity to get the D-Star rig running correctly. So don't despair, it's worth it. But the last over on your side was, I think, better than the one before that. So I think there's still some experimenting to do, but that will do. I for myself, I'm using an OpenSpot 3 hotspot here, and for getting my handheld into the open spot, 100 milliwatt to 500 milliwatts, more often 100. That's quite enough for a distance of about 6 or 7 meters here, and could even be enough from another story of the house. So I tested that out, and there was absolutely no problem with 100 milliwatts from the upper story of the house. Other items there. We are preparing for our visit to the ham radio affair there in Friedrichshafen on the Lake of Constance in 3.5 weeks, and there's some things to prepare for that, and to test out and to lay out, and we are looking forward very much to being there. It's always a highlight in our course of the year there. But of course, it's also very far from our QDH. We being here in northwestern Germany, about 100 miles southwest of Hamburg, and Friedrichshafen on the Lake of Constance on the border to Switzerland. It's about, I'd say, 800 kilometers, something like that, 550 miles. And me not getting younger and longer, it's also a very big feat to drive down there. As traffic on German autobahn or highways here has become very, very crazy, to be very polite about it. But nevertheless, as I said, we are looking forward for it, and do some planning, and even think about this summer's possibilities regarding something Fraser from Denmark said on the last meeting. He would like to have us on a visit there. He said something like that. And we have been thinking about it, and we would like to do that only for 1 or 2 nights, I think. But it's possible to combine that with a visit to the German Baltic Sea side. From there on, it shouldn't be more than 3 hours to the QDH of Fraser on the island of Fyn in Denmark. Perhaps that's something to plan about earnestly, but not yet. Perhaps in August or something like that. We will be in contact with Fraser about that. So I think it's time now for getting into the last over, the farewell over, so to speak. So I say thank you very much for hosting the net, Jeff, and thank you very much for all of your company there, and all of interesting things and items and news. That's always a pleasure and always very rewarding to be part of the meeting. So from my part, 73s and all the very best to all of you. Stay safe and healthy, and I very much hope to hear you all again in next week's time. So bye-bye from me, and I'm passing the microphone for the final to Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango.
P6. Yeah, this is Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango with the final. Thank you very much for hosting the net, Jeff, and thank you to all of you for your company this evening. It was as always a great pleasure. And yes, Nick, we are planning to listen in there on the 8th of June. Yes, in the evening we have an invitation for a friend of us, but in the afternoon also I think might be possible looking out for contact. So I wish you all a pleasant weekend, and 73 and 88 from my side. This was Delta Lima 8 Bravo Delta Tango, handing the microphone back to M0 AUG.
DIVT with the LLDJW in the group, and thanks all for joining us this evening, as usual. And it's been a small night this evening, but I think very interesting. There are some good things coming out of it on tips as to where to go, and how to operate in difficult conditions. And hopefully, we've now got a new member coming on to join us with Mark over in Bradford there. I'm just confirming to you, Mark, I've sent you an email over to Jeff over in Belgium there, and last year experiencing the worldwide use of D-Star, and obviously when more of us come on, we do have Fraser up in Denmark who's a regular, and obviously Bob over in the US, he's on there every week as well. Normally, some personal circumstances are just standing in the way of that at the moment. But that's for that one. So, what I'll do, thanks Mike and Adriana, I'll now just pass it over to you, Mark, for any finals, and then we'll go back to the top of the list to line it up. So that's M0TMR in the group, M0AUG.
M0TMR to the group. I've turned it down to 1 watt now on the 9700. I hope it's still coming through. Yeah, well, thanks for letting me in and let me play. It's weird, isn't it, being an introvert on ham radio, but at least I get to talk to people this way. HF isn't so good for me at the moment, simply because I've got no space for an aerial. So 73 to everyone, and I hope to catch you again further down the log. M0TMR, handing back.
M0TMR in the group, M0AUG. Okay then, Mark. Just as a guide, I'm using 100 milliwatts into an open spot 2. So you don't need very much at all to actually kick into the open spot there. I'm using an IC705, putting out 100 milliwatts and going into the open spot 2. And the problem is, if you put too much power into the open spot or any other of the dongles, then they start to bleep in and out, and they're cutting out because you're overdriving them. So do experiment with it. We're here to help. You've got my email address, and now Jeff in Belgium has got yours as well, and we look forward to welcoming you again. So back up to the top of the list for now. G4IWO in the group, M0AUG.
Yes, M0AUG in the group from G4IWO. Yeah, first of all, big welcome to Mark, M0TMR. Thank you for joining us tonight. And as Jeff has said to you, who looks after the net here, you're very, very welcome to join us whenever you want. Pleasure to have amateurs from anywhere come along and join in our regular chat on a Thursday evening. To Adriana and Mike, I've posted on the WhatsApp group a very, very simple explanation of a 2-element wire beam for 6 meters, horizontally polarized, of course, kind of roughly based similar to the construction of a spider beam. It's got a boom length of 4 foot, so not much more than a meter length of boom, and approximately a 10-foot PVC pipe supporting the wires. So really just over 3 meters, really. So as you'd expect it to be in length, to support the 2 wires, giving what the W6 who wrote that article suggests about a 6 dB gain, which I think would be pretty good for some single sideband or CW, of course, on 6 meters. So have a look at that, give you a few ideas. So just excuse me, a couple more bits of news. Next Wednesday, 12th of June, we've got a talk at the online club on Zoom from Ira KC9TC, who's going to give a talk about getting the most out of PSK Reporter, which should be quite interesting, I think, because at some stage everyone's had a go at PSK Reporter, and if he's got some tips for making better use of it and some features that we're not used to using, that undoubtedly will be of great benefit. And then 2 weeks after that, we've got another Ham from the States, Lindy, K6 Echo Bravo, who's going to be talking about the quality of transmitted audio. And it's one of those things that everyone is desperate to get the receive bit of their radios right, and often don't pay enough attention to the transmitted part of it, which of course is what the rest of us receive. So he did quite a detailed article on this over several months in the QST, the AWRL Radio Amateur magazine. So very, very pleased to have him to come along and talk about that on the 26th of June. And finally, before I go, beginning of August the 1st to the 4th, we're supporting Nobby and a group of other amateurs who are going up to Flannan Island on the outer West Hebrides. We're going to get a talk from one of them at the beginning of July. Not set the date yet, but it will be on a night, not a Wednesday night, probably in the first or second week of July, to give us a taster of what they're going to get up to on Flannan. Not as uninhabited as Rockall. It has got a lighthouse on it, although I don't think anyone lives in it at the moment, but no one else lives on it. It's a rather a larger group of small islands than Rockall, but pretty remote, about 30 kilometres to the west of the Isle of Lewis. So right the way out in the North Atlantic, really on the way to Rockall. So that should be an interesting expedition and an interesting talk from them when we get the date for that sorted. So very big good evening to everyone who is listening tonight on YouTube, and to those who have joined us tonight, and of course to Jeff M0AUG, who has done a great job again of chairing the net this evening. So good to have a number of different people that can take responsibility for this net and all chair it extremely well. So on that note, I'll carry on listening. We're still streaming on YouTube until the net finishes, and I wish you all a very pleasant evening at 73s. M0AUG in the group, G4IWO.
G4IWO in the group, M0AUG returning. Thanks for all that, Nick, and the forward decks of what's going on in the club. Just for Mark's benefit, Mark, you don't have to be a member of the Denby Dale Amateur Radio Society to join in the activities there. As you probably gathered, there are quite a few Zoom meetings coming up, and details of which you can find on the Denby Dale Amateur Radio Society homepage there. And if you see it on the calendar, you're quite welcome to just join in by clicking on the link to join the meeting there. And you'll find that the meetings are very interesting. And obviously, further down the line, once you've satisfied yourself that you'd like to be more involved with the club won't have any problems being a club from Yorkshire and taking your money off you for your subscriptions, which is due in September. But don't worry, you don't have to. That's only me as a fellow Yorkshireman just taking a joke with you. But please join us on the WhatsApp meetings as well. They are useful. And the faces you'll see are very, very much the few of us are on the net this evening as well. And Nick, you may not know, is actually chair of the Denby Dale Club, so you can detect the enthusiasm which the club is run. So thanks for that, and I'll catch you just at the end there in a few minutes there, Mark. So over to you for your finals, Jeff. Oscar November Independent Tango, M0AUG.
Okay, M0AUG, hopefully we didn't forget the name. Jeff, but no problem, you probably will give him the mic after me. Mark and Brexit, even 1 watt is too much, I think. Just go to 0%, as I do, which is 350 milliwatts. It's even more than enough. I can tell you the 9700 is a marvelous, a fantastic transceiver. I did a lot of good things about it. I'm living in an apartment. I'm using a small antenna, a 5 elemental periodic antenna, on my balcony on a tripod, and I used that to do some single sideband and CW on 2 meters and 70 centimeters. I really made some beautiful contacts if the conditions are right. I worked into Spain and so on, and into Scotland and things like that, and into Oskilkino, into what is that, Slovakia or Czechoslovakia, whatever. So beautiful transceiver. I also use it for satellite work from time to time in FT4. So yeah, beautiful transceiver. I really enjoy that. I have a lot of pleasure with that thing. And okay, about Friedrichshafen, Mike and Adriana. Yeah, well, one of my friends, VK2 AMF, VK2 Alpha Mike Fox, is doing a tour through Europe, and he is actually going to visit Friedrichshafen. So you will probably meet him, although in a big pile of people, that might be difficult to meet him. But anyway. And I think after that he will probably come to Belgium and visit me. So that's probably one of the opportunities to catch him. I told him about you, Mike and Adriana, and I also sent the link about your tour of Friedrichshafen, and he found that very useful to prepare his visit to Friedrichshafen, and he certainly also wants to visit the Zeppelin Museum, which is really quite interesting. Okay, very good evening to Bob and Laura on the YouTube channel. Thank you very much, Jeff, for sharing the net. Thank you to everyone for the enjoyable QSO and net we have here. I hope to catch you all next week. Mike 0 AUG, the group, 08 November Tango.
I'm Tango in the group, M0 AUG returning. Yeah, I should to you there, Jeff, in case you wanted to give any further information to Mark, in case he wanted to move off. So, no, Dave, I've not forgotten you. No problem, it's all there. So, thanks for your contribution this evening, Jeff, and to everybody else as well. And hope we can see you on the Zoom meetings as well as the weekly event there. You know, work permitting and things like that, so Mark, we understand. But keep in touch with us. If you need any help, there are plenty of us who can help to keep you on the right track with D-Star, etc. You probably realise already, as Jeff was saying, and I said, 100 milliwatts or even less is sufficient for the radio to be able to work into, all the hotspots there. So thanks again, Jeff. We'll catch up with you again next week. Mike and Adriana have already passed on there now, so just over to you there, Dave, down in Taunton. G6 is every side of the group, M0AG. Thanks for your contributions tonight, Dave. It's been a good net, I think.
M0AUG in the group, G6ZSN. Yeah, thanks very much for running the net yet again, Jeff. Even though there was only a few of us, it was very entertaining. And as you and Nick said, I will have a go at calling CQ tomorrow, depending on how things go. But I was going to say something else. It's gone out of my brain, I'm afraid. I will hopefully be on the net next week. So I will say 7 threes. And as I said, thank you for running the net. And have a good weekend, everyone. And catch you next week. G6ZSN.
G6 in the group, M0AUG. Thanks again for joining with that. And yeah, I think it's about 2 years since we started getting you involved with the net. I know you get enjoyment out of it as well. And I'm hoping I can encourage Mark to stay with us, and we'll see what we can do with that one. I'll just pass it over to you, Mark, for any final, just in case you've got any questions out of what you heard in the last few minutes. If you haven't, then pass it back to me and we'll close the net for the evening. M0TMR in the group, M0AG.
M0TMR returning. Okay, I'm now on 0% on the power, so that should still be coming through from what I've been told.
I just wish I knew if there's any way to save the power as a default to this memory channel. I'll have to look at that. I am actually a paid-up member of the Halifax and District Amateur Radio Society. Don't go there much because I don't drive, so it's more or less Facebook and chatting. I actually found this net via the link on YouTube. I've been a subscriber for a while. Anything else? I can't think of anything else. So again, thank you very much for letting me join, and thank you, Steve, for some great advice. Great to meet some lovely people. M0 DMR 73 and back to M0 AUG.
M0 TMR in the group, M0 AUG saying, yeah, thanks for that, Mark, and we'll look forward to catching up with you again next Thursday evening if you can visit in there. And please look at the MZL website and you'll find out what else is going on in terms of the talks and Nick mentioned anything else. So with that, thanks everybody for joining us this evening. So we certainly is on. We do have more normally. We've been up to 10 and beyond, I think, in the past, and in various parts. But it depends what people have got on, holidays and everything else. So thanks for joining us. Thank you all for your contributions. And especially to our overseas members tonight, which is Jeff in Belgium, Mike and Adriana in northern Germany as well. And I look forward to catching up with you all next week. And for those of you who are using radios like a 705 or something, if you just hang on with it, I'm sure that Jeff in Belgium might just be sending a picture out. So good evening, everybody, and we'll catch up with you next week. 730 also to Bob and Laura on the YouTube channel as well. Good night.
Okay, I will send the picture, Mark, if you want to receive that picture, but I think it will come up automatically. But if you go to the menu, to the second option in the menu, and then you see their picture. If you push that on picture, you will probably be able to receive my picture. So I will stand by for a second and then send the picture from 08 November Tango. So here the picture is coming. It's a picture to cheer us up with the bad weather each eye. A picnic in the sun each eye. Here it comes.